Om Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kruto Vande Bhagavanto Puna Puna Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. We are studying the commentary on the fourth sutra of Shariraka Mimamsa Shastra, or we call it Brahma-Sutra Chatussutri. And the topic is that it is not Karma Kanda or Upasana Kanda. It is a separate chapter. So the objection is that we accept that it is a separate chapter and Jnana Kanda is separate. But there also Jnana has to be done. Something has to be done there. And that is Vidhi Kriya, the action of knowing. And that is the argued in detail. And to reply to that, Shankaracharya is first building up his own case. So before giving a direct reply, he is telling that please understand what is the difference. And there, karma takes us from man's life up to Brahma's life. Or if you do bad karma, man's life up to stock and stones. And everywhere, it has to be experienced by body, mind only, but through body and mind. And there is always a comparative less or more. And then, what is moksha? Moksha is ashariratva. Moksha is bodilessness. And extensively has quoted to show that so long as the body is there, priya priyam avahati nasti. You are not removed from priya and apriya. And if you have no body consciousness, then there is no touch of priya and apriya. Up to that, he has built up the thing. So, when there is no touch of priya and apriya, then there is no entry of punya or papa or anything. Tat etat ashariratvam moksham. That is what we last read the sentence, that ashariratva, bodilessness, is moksha. Moksha is not going somewhere. Moksha is not having any type of body, subtler or grosser. Moksha is bodilessness. And it is, and there, now we read further. Anyatra dharma, anyatra adharma. Those who are holding my translation, page 40. Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat. Anyatra asmat kruta krutat. Anyatra bhutacha bhavyacha ityadi shritibhya. This prasanga is Yama Nachiketa Samvad. When Nachiketa has gone to Yama and questioned him about Atmagyan, then he first tried to put him off by showing thousands of bhogas. And when Nachiketa transcends that in his mind, then he starts telling about Atman. Yamaraj starts telling about Atman. And as soon as Nachiketa hears something, he understands. And that is he reframes his question. First question was that when the man dies, there is a doubt. Some people say everything is gone. Some people say something is there. On this point, I want to know from you. Now, when he starts that tam durdarsham gudam anupravishtam guhayatam gauvareshtam puranam adhyatma yoga digamena devam matva dhiro archa choko jati. This one mantra he told. Then Nachiketa reframes his questions and says, that which is different from punya, that which is different from papa, that which is different from whatever we do, that which is different from whatever we do not do, that which is different from past, that which is different from future. So, Nachiketa understands that it is absolutely beyond. The mantra is completed by Nachiketa asking that I am in this world and this reality is beyond. Then how can I approach that? But I clearly feel that you have seen that. Yat tat pashyasi tad vada. This is the full mantra. It is totally beyond everything, and yet I clearly see that you are seeing that. And so, please explain to me. So, here the questioner, after understanding a little of what Yamaraj told, is telling that it is absolutely beyond everything, beyond any type of karma, beyond any type of past, present. And so, that is Brahma. Atah tad Brahma. Yasya iyam jigyasa prastuta. So, the argumenter started by telling what is being asked there in Dharma Mimamsa. Some karma which you will do and then get the result. On the contrary, Vedanta, the jigyasa, desire to know, is about our own reality. So here he has come to that. Ashariratva is moksha, that itself is Brahman, that is beyond everything. Tad atat tad Brahma. Yasya iyam jigyasa prastuta. Here the jigyasa, or the keen desire to know, which will not stop till we realize, is about that Brahman, which is asharira, which itself is moksha. Abhipagameta tad yadi kartavya sheshatvena upadishyata tena cha kartavyena sadhya chet moksha abhipagameta anitya eva syat. If it is told as a part of some duty, and then it will become fruit of something done. That is how we'll understand that. And then moksha will be temporary. Up till now, he has explained that anything we do is finite, and the result will be finite. Maybe very big like Brahma, maybe very bad like stock and stone, maybe middling like man, but it is always finite. And here, bodilessness is infinite, bodilessness is beyond everything. So, and that is our own nature. So this obtained by something is not our nature, and it will be temporary only. Tatra evam sati yatha ukta karma phaleshu eva taratamya avastiteshu anityeshu. We have read that, no? We have read that, we have gone back a little. Tatra evam sati yatha ukta karma phaleshu eva taratamya avastiteshu anityeshu kaschit atishaya moksha iti prasajyata. Then this karma phala, which is always comparatively less or more, in that maximum may be moksha. Nityacha moksha sarva mokshavadipi abhyapagamyate. But whichever philosopher believes in moksha, he knows that moksha is something permanent. Atana kartavya sheshatvena brahma upadesha yukta. So it cannot be told as a part of something to be done. Apicha, this is important. Kshiyante cha asya karmani brahmaveda brahma eva bhavati. Kshiyante cha asya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. Anandam brahmana vidvan viveti kutashana. Abhayam vai janaka prapta asi. Tam tat atmanam eva aved aham brahma asmi. Iti tasmat tat sarvam abhavat. Tatra kam moha kashoka ekatvam anupashyata iti evam adhyashvataya. Brahma Vidya Anantaram Moksham Darshayanta Madhya Karyantaram Varayanti. After this we had read. Madhye karyantaram varayanti. That jnana leads directly to moksha. In between there is nothing to be done. Karyantaram varayanti. They tell us that in between nothing is to be done. When you know your real nature, you are mukta. That continues. Tatha etat pashyan rishi vamadeva pradipede aham manu abhavam suryacha iti brahma darshana sarva atma bhavayo madhe kartavya antara varanaya udararyam. We can quote the example of Vamadeva. He was in the mother's garbha, and there itself he said, he told Vamadeva Rishi that I was the Manu, I was the son. So when he got the knowledge of Brahman, when he got the experience of Brahman, then he became everybody. He became all. So between his knowledge of Brahman and becoming all, kartavya antara varanaya. So nothing was done in between. Udaharyam. We can give the example of Vamadeva to tell that nothing intervenes between knowledge of Brahman and moksha. Example, he takes an example from simple language. Yatha tishtan gayati iti, tishtati gayatyo madhe tat kartrukam karya antaram nasti iti gammate. He standingly sings. So, as I know, I am all. So, there is nothing in between. If he stands and sings, then in between there is nothing else. After standing, I sing is not the question. Standingly, I sing. Standingly, I sing means that I stand and sing are simultaneous. There is nothing in between. Similarly, Tvamina Pita ya asmakam avidyaya paramparam tarayasi Shrutami eva me bhagavad rishyapya tarati shokam atmavititi saham bhagava shochami tatma bhagavan shokasya param tarayatu tasmai mrudita kashayaya tamasa param darshayati bhagavan sanat kumara ite chavem adya shrutaya moksha pratibandhi nivrutti matram eva atmagyanasya palam darshi. That is the main thing now. So what is the result of Atma Gyan? Nothing newly achieved, nothing made, but the obstructions between moksha are removed. Moksha pratibandha nivrutti. That which is obstructing our moksha is removed. So nitya moksha, swarup moksha, our real nature is moksha. Automatically that becomes manifested when the obstruction is removed. That we get from all the quotations, whether Prashnopanishad or Narad Sanat Kumar in Chandogya. So, in every place what we are doing is that removal of the obstruction. In Prashnopanishad, 6 sadhakas went to Guru and they had some questions in their mind. And when he replied to all those questions, they became mukta. Narad went to Sanat Kumar and said that I have heard from people like you that if one knows oneself, he goes beyond sorrow. I am in sorrow, so please take me beyond sorrow. So as soon as he knew himself, he went beyond sorrow. And that is stated as the conclusion also. Murdita Kashayaya, when his impurities were washed out, then he went beyond. Bhagavan Sanat Kumar showed him the place beyond darkness. So all the Shruti Vakyas tell us that moksha pratibandha nivrutti, the negation of whatever obstructions for moksha were there, matram eva atmagyanasya phalam darshi. So do something and get a result is different, but know Brahman and remove the obstacles that means real nature will shine. That is a great difference. We are not to. Tatha cha acharya pranitam nyaya upabrumitam sutram. He quotes from Nyaya Shastra. Gemini's Nyaya Shastra. What he tells? Dukkha janma pravrutti dosha mithya jnana nam uttara uttara apaye tad anantara apayat apavarga iti. This Gautama, Gemini has Purva Mimamsa. Gautama has this Nyaya Shastra. So Gautama has very beautifully, logically put it that dukkha, janma, pravrutti, dosha, mithya jnana nam uttara uttara apaye. That means if mithya jnana is not there, then dosha is not there. If dosha is not there, imperfection in character is not there. If imperfection in character is not there, no tendency outgoing comes. If there is no outgoing tendency or doing work, then no further janma will come. And when there will be no janma, there will be no dukkha. So these Indian philosophies talk of dukkha nash. So if janma is not there, we will not have dukkha. If pravrutti is not there, we will not have janma. If imperfection in character is not there, we will not have pravrutti. And if wrong knowledge is not there, we will not have any dosha. And they call moksha as apavarga. Swarga is a loka, and apavarga is beyond all. That is moksha, iti. Now, that much we accept from the logician. But what is their right knowledge is we don't accept. Their right knowledge is that Atman becomes senseless. Atman has no consciousness in mukti. Neither sukha nor dukkha means no consciousness at all. That we don't accept. But this is very logical, that if the next is gone, the previous is already gone. So, mithya jnana apayacha brahma atma ekatva vijnana bhavati. It is very clear that the mithya jnana removal is only by the experiential knowledge that Brahman, the universal reality, and Atman, reality of all individuals, is same. This experiential knowledge will remove all wrong knowledges. All wrong knowledges, there is the difference between me and you, there is a difference between me and Brahman, and if the right knowledge will tell us that there is no difference between me and reality of the whole universe. So all wrong knowledges will go. Now, there are some more things in Upanishads. And this Atma Gyan is not like them. That is what new topic now from here. This was the old topic. Now the new topic is Nacha idam Brahma Atma ekatva vijnanam sampad rupam. Yatha anantam vai mana ananta vishwadeva anantam eva satyena lokam jayati iti. Sampad upasana. Sampad upasana means something is smaller and we say you are bigger. That is called sampad upasana. Let me tell you here, Swami Vivekananda, throughout his complete works, you are Brahman, you can do everything, you are not weak. Most of it, 80-85% of it is sampad upasana. We Indians in those days, or anybody in the world for that matter, in the West, they were all telling we are sinners. In India, we are nobodies. So, to rouse them, Swamiji says, you are Brahman. So, this is called sampad upasana. Real Aham Brahmasmi, we have seen, comes after a lot of struggle to remove all our doshas. Before that, to enable us to do something, a sampad upasana is used. So, Shankaracharya is telling, this Atma Jnana Brahma Jnana Ekatva is not sampad upasana. He has given the example. Vaishyadeva are infinite. And if you worship the Vishwadevas, you will become infinity. So, infinity is compared like a loka. And that comes by worship of Vishwadevas. Because Vishwadevas are infinite. So, this is Sampad Upasana. By worshipping something greater, you become like that. That is not Aham Brahmasmi. I am not smaller than Brahman. Brahman is not bigger than me. My real nature is Brahman. So, real nature is not some comparatively bigger being told about the smaller. That is Sampad Upasana. So, Atma Gyan is not Sampad Upasana. Then there is another thing. Worship this as this. That means we are superimposing something on something. Nacha adhyasa rupam yatha mana brahma iti upasit. In adhyasa always this word iti will come. Worship mind as Brahman. It becomes clear that mind is not Brahman. Worship mind as Brahman. Aditya Brahma iti adesha. Worship sun as Brahman. That is the mandate. So, worship mind as Brahman. Here mind is a pratika. Worship Aditya as Brahman. So that is a pratika. And this is called Adhyasa Rupa. Iticha Mana Aditya Adishu Brahma Drishti Adhyasa. So we are superimposition Brahma Drishti on mind, Aditya, etc. This is not Tattvamasi. This is not Aham Brahmasmi. So my real nature is that. I am not saying that assume you are like that. That is only Adhyasa. It is not Sampad telling me that you are bigger than what you are. So neither Sampad nor Adhyasa. Napi Vishishta Kriya Yoga Nimittam. Sometimes their similarity is due to some action. Vayu Vava Samvarga, Prana Vava Samvarga Itivat. That means when a man dies, when there is a pralaya, Vayu carries away everything. When a man dies, then his pranas take away everything. So prana and Vayu are equated. So showing some similarity, some action, similarity in action, then we say this is like that. So Atma and Brahman are not like each other. They are same. So he distinguishes it from other mandates in the Upasana Kanda or Karma Kanda, where something similar in action, similar superimposition, some gunas on somebody, superimposition of something bigger and smaller, superimposition of something due to common action. This is not the nature of teaching of Brahma Vidya. Napi Ajya Avekshana Adi Karmavat, Karma Anga Sanskara Rupam. This is a part of Karma Yoga, Karma, Vedic Karma Kanda. That everything has to be purified, whatever is used in yajna. Now that ghee, that clarified butter has to be purified. How it is purified? The wife of the man doing yajna, she is called. And she is asked to look at that ghee and it becomes pure. That was the highest honor given to ladies of the house. That the lady of the house has only to look at that ghee and it is supposed to have become pure. So, that is also a work. She has to come and see. And so, it is not like that. It is not some action purifying something that we become moksha. Murdita Kashaya, purification of our mind, not of Atman or Brahman. So, it is not connected with any action. Either Sampad something smaller to be told bigger. Adhyasa, superimposing something on something. Kriya nimitta, due to similarity of action, something is superimposed, or some smaller action only to purify. Brahman is not of this type. What happens logically? Sampadadi rupe hi Brahma-Atma ekatva vijnane apibhugamamane. If we accept that Brahman and Atman is same, only due to these four, either something big is on small, something similar in action, or some minor action. If we take any of these meanings, Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, Ayam Atma Brahma, Itivam Adinam Vakyanam, Brahma-Atma Ekatva Vastu Pratipadana Para Pada Samanvaya Pidyeta. Pada Samanvaya, the proper placing of the words, making a sentence in these famous sentences, that thou art. I am Brahman. This Atman is Brahman. All these sentences tell us about absolute identity. Same thing in two names, Brahma and Atma. So, these meanings will not be correct. These meanings will collapse. If you think that doing something or similar something or like that, if that meaning is taken, then these absolute identity sentences will have no meaning. And result, vidyate hridaya granthi chiddante sarva samshaya iti cha evam adini avidya nivrutti phala shravanani uparudderan. In the Mundaka Upanishad, if you realize the Nirguna and Saguna Brahman, the knot of the heart, Ajnana, is cut asunder. All doubts vanish. All karmas are killed. So, avidya nivrutti automatically results into this. Avidya nivrutti automatically results into all imperfections gone, all bondages gone. Then these meanings will not be correct. If we're doing something and getting some result, then these meanings will not be correct, where the identity, as soon as it is realized, you are free. Tasmat na sampadadi rupam Brahma-Atma ekatva vijnanam. So Brahma-Atma ekatva experience is not like any of these superimpositions. We can generally call all of them as superimposition. All of these superimpositions are not what is the identity. Atana Purusha Vyapara Tantra Brahma Vidya. So, he is now coming to reply that the action of knowing was the argument. Now, action of knowing depends upon me. If I do it, all right. If I do not do it, the nature of Brahman does not depend upon my doing anything. It is my real nature. Whether I know it or not, it will never change as my real nature. So, Atana Purusha Vyapara Tantra Brahma Vidya. So this realization of Brahman does not depend upon what I do. It is my real nature. I am not realizing that. If that abstraction is removed, I am mukta. So, nothing is to be done to gain mukti. Kim tari, then what it is? Now, how it is without any action, a very positive reply is given. Pratyaksha adi pramana vishay vastu jnanavat vastu tantra eva. It does not depend upon my doing something. It depends upon the nature of the thing. How? If my eyes fall on something, I see that. So, what action I have done? Pratyaksha adi pramana vishaya vastu jnanavat. Example, there is an object in the world. If there is an object in the world, I can see or touch or smell or taste it. Is that any action? Or I can infer it. So knowing is not an action. For example, object of the world is known as soon as the right means of knowledge. It is a question of means of knowledge, Praman. It is not dependent upon my action. It is only means of knowledge. If means or knowledge are correct, knowledge comes. Object of the world. एवं भूतस्य ब्रह्मणा तद ज्ञानस्य च न कयाचित युक्त्या शक्या कार्य अनुप्रविशा कल्पयितुम्. So knowledge of Brahman is realizing my own real nature. There no type of entry of karma is possible. No type of entry of I have to do something to get something. That is the main thing. So up till now he is telling that you said that Vidi Kriya, knowledge is an action. And we are telling that there is no entry of action in knowledge of Brahman. Now he comes to the reply. Now the reply about the appearance of action. Why it is said you should know Brahman? Why it is said you should Shrotavya, Mantavya, Nididasitavya? Why Mantavya, Nididasitavya after Shrotavya? Unless you know Brahman, you will not become Mukta. So, nacha vidhi kriya karmatvena karya anupravisha brahmana. Now, knowing. Brahman is beyond knowing also. Brahman is not an object to be known by me. Brahman, which is not an object which is not yet known by me. So, see the Upanishads. See the Upanishads talking about Brahman. It does not depend on any action of knowledge. Knowledge is only Vastu Tantra. Knowledge depends upon the real nature of the thing. If the real nature of the thing, that is Brahman. If my real nature, that is Mukti. So, Vidhi Kriya Karmatvena Karya Anupravisha Brahmana na asti. The object of Vidhi Kriya, object of the action of knowledge, this is not Brahman. Anya devatat vidita tatha avidita tadi. In the Kenopanishad it is said, it is different from known. It is different from unknown. Unknown means not yet known. It is different from unknown. It is different from known. So knowledge also is not an action. Iti vidhi kriya karmatva pratishadat. So knowing as an action has been refuted here. Knowing as an action is refuted by telling that it is other than known, it is other than unknown. And again, in Brudaranya, yena idam sarvam vijanati, tam kena vijaniyati teacher. Atman, through Atman we know everything. Through consciousness only we become conscious of the objects. That consciousness by what means we can know? We identify ourselves with that. We do not know it as an object. That is the main point here. So, if there is an object, then the knowledge can be an action. But it is not an object. It is different from object known. It is different from object unknown. And it is the eternal knower. Through that we know everything in the world. Then by what means we can know it? So, our real nature is not like an object. Now the second point in that argument was, Upasana is a separate Kriya. Upasana is not like gross karma. mental worship. That is a kriya, subtler kriya. So, Brahman is not an object of subtler kriya also. तथा उपास्य क्रिया कर्म तो प्रतिषेध अभिभवति. In Kenopanishad, it starts like that. That by which your mind thinks, that is Brahman. Not that which you think by your mind. So Brahman is different from any object of which we are doing upasana. Upasana also requires some object, maybe mental object, maybe subtler object, but it is also an object. And upasana, kriya, karma, tva. So it is a result of something done mentally. That also has been negated. Yat vacha anabhyuditam, yena vak abhyudate. That which is not revealed by tongue. That due to which tongue reveals something. So the tongue knows something, then it describes something. That is due to Brahman consciousness. And any language, word cannot describe that Brahman. Iti avishetam brahmana upannasya. So Brahman is not an object, has been introduced. Tateva brahma tam vidhi, na idam yat idam upasate. That is Brahman you should know. Not this, anything which you hold as an object and upasana. That is Kenopanishad. It is the source of knowledge, action, everything in our life. But it is not an object of gross or subtle of the upasana which you do. What upasana does? May sharpens our mind. Upasana is very valid to sharpen our mind, not for knowledge of Brahman. Knowledge of Brahman is our real nature. And if our mind is not impure, if our mind is sharp enough, automatically Brahman shines. When we do not chase any object, Brahman shines. Now a new doubt comes. Avishayatve Brahmana Shastra Yonita Anupapatti iti chet. You said that Shastras are the means of knowing Brahman. If Brahman is not an object at all, what Shastras will do for us? So, our idea of knowledge is always a subject knowing an object. That intervenes. Shastra clears our wrong knowledge, Brahman is automatically revealed. But if Brahman is not an object, how Shastra can reveal us? That is the doubt. The doubt is that if it is not at all an object, then how through Shastra also will know it? Is this not correct thinking? No. This also is wrong thinking. Avidya kalpita bheda nivritti paratva shastras. Avidya kalpita bhed. Difference between me and my reality, difference between the individual and the universal reality is wrong knowledge. The difference is due to my wrong knowledge. And Shastra removes this. Avidya. Shastra removes this wrong knowledge. It does not show me Brahman. No, Shastra tells Brahman is like this. Shastra tells me Brahman is not like this, Brahman is not like this. So my wrong knowledge, as soon as it is revealed, removed, that is how the Shastra becomes the means of knowledge of Brahman. Shastra becoming means of knowledge as Brahman does not make Brahman an object. I have wrong knowledge about my own real nature, and Shastra removes that. So that is a totally different thing than showing me Brahman. You understand? This is a clear point. That no Shastra comes and tells me Brahman is like this. But I have wrong knowledge about my own real nature, and Shastra removes that. Shastra tells me there is no difference between you and Brahman. So it is removing my wrong knowledge. Nai Shastram idantaya vishayabhutam Brahma pratipipadayishati. Shastra never desires to show Brahman as this. This is an object. Brahman is like this. Like that, no Shastra tells us. Then what does Shastra do? Kim tari? Pratyak Atmatvena, that is the important mantra now, Sutra. Bhashya recently. Pratyak Atmatvena Avishayatya Pratipadayat. Beautiful. Avidya Kalpitam Vedya Veditru Vedanadi Vedam Apanayati. When we know an object, there are three things. The knower, known, and the type of knowledge. I see or I touch. So, Vedya, object, Veditru, knower, Vedana, experience. This is the difference. Wrong knowledge. What the Shastra does, it shows Brahman as not an object by telling that Brahman is your innermost reality. When Brahman Shastra tells is in your innermost reality, it shows that it is not an object. And so, the difference which is imagined due to wrong knowledge, that difference apanayati, Shastra removes that. The difference is due to wrong knowledge, what is called triputi. Knower, known, and knowing, this is avidya. This difference is due to avidya. And Shastra removes this avidya. Shastra tells us it is not an object, it is your innermost reality. So, all these object and subject, this Veda is removed. To know our innermost reality, we don't know it as an object. We are no more a subject. Tathasya Shastram. And Shastra is very clear on this point. Yasya amatam tasya matam. Matam yasya navedasa. Avidnyatam vijanatam vidnyatam avijanatam. Kenopanishad. The sadhak, important point in Kenopanishad. The sadhak, due to Guru's teaching, comes to know Aham Brahmasmi, feels Aham Brahmasmi. And he feels I realized Brahman. Then Guru points out, no. If you think you have known Brahman well, I tell you have Brahman known a little. That means Aham Brahmasmi is not Ajnana, but Aham Brahmasmi is not Jnana. Aham is there, Brahman is there, difference is there. So, then he tells that he realizes, this other, that this penultimate step I am telling as final. Yasya amatam, tasya matam. Matam means real knowledge. Who has real knowledge? Who does not think I know. Who does not think I know, his knowledge is real. If he is certain that I know, then that is not real knowledge. Because that is the very nature of Brahman. Avidnyatam vijanatam. Those who feel that we know, Brahman is not really known by them. Vijnanam avijanatam. When they transcend their I and do not say I have realized, then there is realization. So, Aham Brahmasmi is not final, is very clearly told in Kenopanishad in this language. That so long as I is there, knowledge is not real or full. You know a little, not full. So, that is what the Guru tells the Shishya, and the Shishya realizes. Final realization, no words can be used there. Then, how to differentiate between the man on the street? He also says, I do not know Brahman. If we really know that in every seeing, every vritti of our jnana, that will be Brahman. That is Pratibodha Viditam Matam. Sri Ramakrishna's language, Bodhe Bodhe Brahma Bodh. I will tell by example that relatively I see this table. Within that I know I am also Brahman, table is also Brahman, seeing is also Brahman. That is real knowledge. Please understand this. I know Brahman is penultimate knowledge, not full knowledge. Final knowledge cannot be described at all. That is what we have been telling up till now. How to know final knowledge? We can know it by the result. And the result is that in every wave of my mind, I see Brahman as all the factors. Taittiriya Upanishad, when he realizes, he says, I am the food, I am the eater, I am the eating. I am the food, I am the eater, I am the eating. So, it cannot be described, or it can be described as everything is Brahman. So, another incident is there. Today, great fortunate, today is Brahmananda Jayanti. Sri Ramakrishna's Manasa Putra Brahmananda, his birthday. Now, when he was dropping his body, so the Brahma consciousness has pervaded him very strongly at that point. Now, when his Sevak understood that he is about to drop the body, it is a custom in India that Charanamrita, that the water which comes out of washing of God, or Ganga Jal, some such holy thing is put in the mouth. So when the Sevak understood that Maharaj will leave his body now, he brings Charanamrita and tells Maharaj, please open your mouth, I will put Charanamrita there. See this, huh? Maharaj opened his mouth and said, put Brahman in Brahman. So he opened his mouth. But what is his, and Charanamrita is ready to take. But what is his vision? Put Brahman in Brahman, he says. Now this is constantly their awareness. It exposed itself at the time of death. Because now is filled with that manifested. This one sentence explains all the Shastra. That because he was about to drop the body, the Sevak brought Charanamrit, the holy water, and said, Maharaj, please open your mouth. I will put the holy water there. Maharaj opened his mouth. But what was the consciousness? Yes, put Brahman in Brahman. So, that is the vision. That is Brahma Gyan. Till then, you are having penultimate knowledge. Aham Brahmasmi is just one step before full knowledge. And full knowledge comes when Aham is dropped. And how to know that? By the result. And the result is that every wave of the mind is filled with Brahman. This point, that point, everything on the Brahman. That is the awareness. And that is so clear. Today, luckily, we are reading this on Brahmananda Jayanti. And in his life, we saw this very clearly. Yes, put Brahman in Brahman, he said. Na drashte drashtaram pashe. Drashte drashtaram. My eye sees an outside object. If I close my eyes, I do not see. So it is a temporary vision. But I see. I know that my eyes see. This knowledge is permanent. If I close my eyes, I do not see. I know that I do not see. I know that I see. I know that I do not see. So this knowing is the absolute of reality. And that is called drishte drishtaram. the seer of the eyes. Kam pashyat. Him, how can we see? He is not an object. He is the awareness. Awareness is bodiless. Awareness has no difference between you and me. Awareness has no difference between me and God. So this awareness, shall I take some other form to see that awareness? Shall I be something separate to see that awareness? Na mate mantara manvita. Similarly, about thinking, my mind thinks. If there is no consciousness, my mind cannot think. So that is the source of my mind thinking. How can mind think of that? Mind cannot think of the source of its own action of thinking. Mind can think of objects only. Mind can think of gross or subtle objects only. But this thinking is possible because of the awareness. Mind cannot think of that awareness. Shastras will remove our differences, that's all. Na vigyate vigyataram vijaniyat. Similarly, the experiential knowledge which I have, that awareness due to which I have experiential knowledge, how can I experience that? How can I be separate from that to know it? So, iti cha evam adi. Like this, there are many sentences in the Vedanta. So, not an object, innermost reality. You are not separate from that to know it. It is your reality. So long as I exist, it is not full knowledge. So, hundreds of such sentences exist in Vedanta. Atah, therefore, avidya kalpita sansaritva nivartanena nitya mukta atma swarupa samarpanat na mokshasya anityatva dosha. So, moksha is not the result of a vidikriya, it will become anitya. Due to wrong knowledge, I imagined I am transmigrating. And that wrong knowledge is removed. Atman is eternally free. That is my real nature. Samarpana. That means all the Vedantas culminate in that. All the Vedantas together culminate in that it is your real nature. That you are not a transmigratory soul. So all factors of wrong knowledge are removed. Automatically my real nature will shine. Na mokshasya anityatva dosha. So moksha will not remain temporary. Moksha is my real nature. My wrong knowledge, as soon as it is removed, moksha will shine. That is what all Shastras do. So, now, another topic is taken. Karma, already it has been told. Karma results into 4 types of things. And knowing realization of Atman is not any one of them. That is the topic. So no action intervenes to tell that so many sides are being shown. If action intervenes, it will be temporary. It is not like that. It is no subject or object knowledge. It is not like that. So, yasya tu utpadya moksha tasya manasam vachikam kayikam va karyam apekshate iti yuktam. Moksha is created. If that is your idea of moksha, by doing some karma, you create something. You create a jar out of that clay. That is what karma does. Karma does 4 types of things. Either it produces something, either it changes something, either it gets us something which we are not, either it purifies something. These are the four things only which karma can do. To create something new, to get something which is not ours, to change, modify something, or to purify something. Other than this, no karma has the effect of doing something. So, realization is not any one of them. That is the next topic. Now this heaven and all that, they are created for us. We reach there, we were not there, we reach there. So it is neither creation nor we reach there. We are already that. So now if karma is created by, moksha is created by karma, then either mental work or vocal work or bodily work, something is to be expected. We accept that if karma is produced, then we have to do work, either mental or vocal or physical. Iti yuktam. This becomes logical. It becomes logical to suppose that we do, may not be physical work, mental work in upasana. Maybe only we talk about it. So, physical, mental or vocal, they are the only three types of work. We do not know what other work can be. And if a moksha is to be created, then either of this work has to be done. Tatha vikaryatvecha. And moksha, if from milk we make curd, we have to do something. That is vikarya. We modify something into something. If moksha is modification, then it will go on getting modified, it will not be nitya. So, for modification, we may mentally also change something. You may physically change something. We can vocally change something. But moksha is not like that. Tayo pakshayo mokshasya dhruvamanittatva. If you think moksha is created or obtained by modification, then certainly it will become finite. Certainly it will become temporary. If something is created, it will get destroyed. If something is obtained by modification, it will go on getting modified. Keep that curd for some time, it will become rotten. Examples he used. Just now I gave the examples. Shankar says, Nai dadi adi vikaryam utpadyam va gata adi nityam drishtam loke. Curd is something which you obtain by modification. And nobody has seen in the world curd to be permanent. Created object is like a jar. Nobody has seen in this world a jar is permanent. So created objects or modified objects are not permanent. Through examples he is showing nobody has seen in the world they are permanent. Then two more things. Na apyatvena api karya apeksha. Apya means we had not that, we obtain. Like we do service, we get money. We do some job, we get money. That money was not with us, now we got it. Moksha is not that type also. Nacha apyatvena api karya apeksha. It does not require us to do anything to get something. So atma surupatve sati anapyatvat. Being my own real nature, I have to get it from outside. Being my own real nature, I have to remove my ignorance about it. That is my real nature. So real nature is not something to be obtained. Swarupa Vyatirikte api Brahmana, beautiful argument. Swarupa Vyatirikte api Brahmana na apyatvam. Sarvagatattvena nitya apta swarupatvat. Sarvena Brahmana akashasya iva. If you say Brahman is not your real nature, but Brahman is all pervading. All pervading thing, how we have to obtain? All pervading thing we always have. All pervading thing we always have. Like the sky. We don't have to get sky from somewhere. It's all pervading. So even if you think that Brahman, this is for argument's sake. Even if you think Brahman is not your real nature, even then Brahman is not something to be obtained because it is all pervading. Nitya Apta Swarup. Always everybody has got that. Sarvena. Everybody has already got that. Brahmana Akasha, like the sky. Akash, like sky, Brahman is always obtained by everybody, even if it is not your nature, because it is all pervading. The definition of the word Brahman itself tells us. Now, last is Sanskarya, we shall take on the next Wednesday. So, all four types of results of work are denied in Brahman, in Moksha. Om Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Puna Puna Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.